Hello, I'm Cal Wellborn with the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Division of Plant Industry. Today we're going to make slides. To make slides you need a stereoscope, mounting media. We're going to use Hoyer's mounting media today for most mites and Hoyer's with iodine for Areophytes. Standard 1x3 microscope slides and cover slips, either 12 millimeter diameter or 18 millimeter diameter. We usually use 12 millimeter for most mites. You pair forceps for manipulating the cover slips and then various probes for picking up and manipulating the mites.
Today we're going to talk about mounting Areophyte mites. Areophyte mites are among the most common mites on plants. They're easily identified by only having two pairs of legs and their small size ranging from 50 micrometers to about 200 micrometers. There are three families in the Areophyida: Areophyidae, Phytoptidae, and Diplomyoptidae. They're all mounted in basically the same way, and we usually mount several specimens per slide. Mounting media is Hoyer's or Hoyer's with iodine. Today we're going to mount some Areophyidae in plain Hoyer's mounting media. First step is to place your slide on a spot or an X so you can center where the mounting media goes. Once you've placed your slide in position, you place a drop of mounting media over the spot or the X. At this point, you're ready to find some Areophytes and place them in the mounting media. Now we're going to fish some Areophytes out of alcohol. You see two Areophytes here. We've placed a little bit of Hoyer's mounting media on the probe to help pick up the mite. The discoloration you see here is the Hoyer's dissolving it in the liquid. Sometimes removing the mite out of the alcohol is the hardest part of the process. You can use a flat probe, a hook probe, a hair, whatever works. I usually use a flat spatula and scoop it under the mite. As you can see here, it takes a little bit of practice to get them out. Still having problems getting the mite. It's usually not this difficult. Here we're trying to get another mite out of the alcohol. Got a small amount of Hoyer's on the probe, and this time it's working pretty good. Now we've got the mite. We're transferring it to Hoyer's. Here we're placing the mite in the Hoyer's in approximately the center of the slide. Initially they may drift a bit, but after we get a number of specimens in here, we'll center them. Sometimes it takes several tries to get the mite off of the probe. From here we go back to the alcohol and look for another mite until we get 5 or 6 mites on the slide. And we have a little piece of debris there that was on the probe. We can pick that out later. Here you can see the mite. It's drifted off the spot, but we can move it back in the center when we have all the mites in place. There's a tendency for the mites to drift. So you want to try and keep them to the center of the slide so that when you put the cover slip on, they don't all flow out to the edge and disappear under the edge of the cover slip. And now we have all 5 mites on the slide. Right now they're over the dot, and we're going to move the slide so you can see the 5 mites just above the dot. We're ready now to put the cover slip on the media. Move them back so they're about over the dot so we know approximately where they are. And from there, we place a cover slip very carefully on one edge. And then we tap it from side to side to keep the mites as close to the center as possible. There will be some drifting, but by tapping around where the mites are, you can keep all or most of them very close to the center. This will make it much easier when you go to look at them under the microscope. You won't have to spend a lot of time searching. At this point, we're going to move the slide so the specimens are off the spot so we can do final adjustments. You want to try and get the Eriophyids so they're mounted dorsal ventrally, so you can see most of the characters. And by moving the cover slip back and forth or slightly, you can change the orientation of the mites. You can see the one in the center now is dorsal ventral. At this point, the slide is ready to put in the oven. Once it's cured, it can be ringed and ready for study.